Today, I want to share about the 10 commandments of the devil. God has made the law with 10 commandments, but the devil, being the opponent and imitator of God, also wants to make the law. Therefore, he also wants to make the 10 commandments. As the scriptures say, "And I heard the voice of the Lord saying, 'Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?' Then I said, 'Here I am, send me.'" Beloved, in this gathering in the firmament, I heard Lucifer saying, "It is written in the law of the other one," he's talking about the Lord Jesus Christ, "that he is seeking someone to work for him so that he can send him. Therefore, I am also seeking someone to work for me." The devil said, "Those who will work for us will have the aspect or shape that will attract men." The devil opted to use women as an instrument to fulfill his will in imitation of the Lord Jesus Christ, who is looking for an instrument to send him to carry out his will and evangelize. The devil is looking for a woman to use as an instrument to accomplish his will, which consists of attracting men's attention and seducing men, thereby causing them to be morally and mentally corrupted, just by looking at her shape and aspect. The devil said, "Any woman having aspects and shapes that create fantasy or sexual appetite in the minds of men is working for me and doing my will. Men will develop fantasy and lust as a result of observing that woman. Beloved, when a woman is not properly dressed, she will stimulate men. She is in the service of the devil. There are aspects and shapes of women that cause men to have sexual appetites and stimulation. A woman that is causing men in the street to desire her or to have impure thoughts because of her aspect or dressing is working for the devil. When a woman puts on a G-string panty, which is an undergarment that does not protect her intimate body and shapes, she would end up attracting attention in the street because of her bottom that is not covered. A woman can be slim, but from her hip downwards, her shape or bottom gets rounded. With a G-string panty on those rounded shapes, the woman would become extremely attractive to men. Therefore, I would advise born-again women not to put on G-strings as it does not cover the body. This G-string attracts men's attention, and it causes them to have fantasy and sexual stimulation. This is serving the devil, and the woman doing this belongs to Lucifer, as he is seeking people who will do his will and work for him. Jesus said, "You have heard that it was said, 'Do not commit adultery.' But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman to lust after her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than to lose your whole body and to be thrown into hell." We were in the oval meeting hall in the firmament when the devil said, "I would like to use imagery for the purpose of attraction." Beloved, the first commandment of Satan is the image that attracts. The devil said, "In the law of the other one, Jesus, it is forbidden to make an image of things on the earth, under the earth, or in the sea, and in the heavens." The Lord of Christians has forbidden them to use images because an image has an impact on human spirits. Therefore, I order you, my agents, to multiply images so that you can impact the spirit of Christians. You must infuse evil power into these images so that humanity and believers will be attracted. The devil addressed demons and said, "I am sending you to the marine kingdom to my servant Lamatsu to get things that will help us." I saw 30 demons traveling beneath the sea, and we followed them. Then I saw the goddess of the sea, Lamatsu, assembling the sand under the sea to design makeup and hygiene products. Then the marine sirens printed their beauty into these makeup products, so that when women use them, the beauty of the siren will be reflected on their faces. Afterward, the 30 demons transported tons of beauty products to the oval meeting hall. For the first time, I noticed that the devil was happy. These products were placed in the middle of the oval meeting hall. Then the devil began to speak curses on these beauty products. The devil said, "Whoever will admire women that are using our beauty products will automatically become impure or defiled, as this beauty is the reflection of the underwater sirens. This is the image of things under the sea. This beauty from makeup products is not natural but artificial and demonic. Anybody admiring these women because of our beauty will enter a covenant with us. And thanks to this artificial beauty, men will develop impure thoughts of sexual fantasies and will incite them to sexual immorality. Thus, men will lose their self-control because of artificial beauty deriving from the marine sirens, my servants. And any woman using siren beauty products will be beautiful, and she will be irresistible." Then the devil said, "We shall have to work on images and photos." I saw the devil ordering demons to publish photos of women having siren makeup online so that men will admire them online. This explains why social networks are full of women with beautiful faces due to beauty products designed in the marine kingdom. Lucifer said, "Men in social networking will rush to ask for friendship to these women because of their beautiful faces and attractiveness. Many men will make friends online with these women because of their Siren makeup products and attraction. And every time they are looking at these beautiful pictures, they would be having an erotic fantasy in their minds and sexual appetites. We will create sexual stimulation and fantasy in men's minds through photos of women online. The devil wants to stimulate sexual appetites or fantasies just by looking at the photos of beautiful women online. People would be masturbating with pictures of women because of fantasy and sexual appetites in their minds. As the scriptures say, 'I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol or any likeness of what is in heaven above or on the earth beneath or in the water under the earth.'" Lucifer addressed the participants and said, "As their God does not like idolatry, we shall print images of women in their minds, which will become an object of worship and veneration. These images will replace their God in their minds and will cause them to be in rebellion with their God." The devil made it clear and said, "Whoever is applauding and venerating beauty resulting from our makeup products is cursed, as the worship of images of things from under the sea is idolatry and cursed by the law of the other one, Jesus, and therefore that person belongs to us." Beloved, the devil wants the thoughts, imaginations, and focus of men to be on women's beauty. He wants men to worship the beauty of women, and that way, God, who is supposed to be the first, will be relegated to the last, and the devil knows that this is idolatry. I was with the archangel Michael, hovering above the participants of this gathering in this auditorium in the second heaven. They could not see us. Then Lucifer addressed the participants and said to the evil spirits, "I order you demons, my servants, to undress women." Then suddenly I saw an extremely dark demon lifting his hand with a lot of respect and fear in order to ask Lucifer a question. Actually, each demon had his shape. Some of them look human, some look like animals, and some were hybrids. The demon asked, "Great Master, with your authorization, I want to ask a question." Lucifer gave him permission. He said, "Great Master, are you saying that we are supposed to undress women literally? How can we do that?" Then Lucifer replied, "As you have asked this question, I give the order to you demons to go now to the beaches of the earth and do my work." Personally, I could not understand this order because there were no precise instructions as to what to do, but the demons seemed to know exactly what they were supposed to do. The devil did not give precise instructions about this assignment, but the demons knew exactly what to do. I will talk about that later. Then I saw thousands of demons leaving the Oval Auditorium, and they were heading to Earth. In the meantime, the gathering was momentarily suspended and was supposed to resume when they return. As the meeting was suspended, Michael said, "Let's follow them." Then there were many groups of demons traveling to different countries and different beaches of the earth. I saw myself on one beach of the earth. The Archangel Michael indicated to me that the beach was in Portugal. I have never been to Portugal, so this image of Portugal is still in my mind. I saw demons landing on this beach and hovering above women, whispering to them to remove their clothes. After that demonic whispering, I saw women removing their clothes. They were now in their panties and bikinis, but others went topless. They were all complaining that it was too hot, and other women removed all their clothes and got naked. The demons were happy. Every time a demon whispered to a woman, this whisper was translated to a perception or impression that it was hot, but in reality, it was not hot, but it was a demonic whispering. After leaving the beaches of the earth, these demons traveled to fashion and design workshops where people were designing and tailoring women's clothes, including underwear, but this time around, they designed what is called the G-string. The Archangel Michael, who was with me, said, "This is the origin of this underwear called the G-string. It is designed as a result of demonic inspiration, or whispering. The devil wants the bodies of women to be visible and shaking in the streets. He wants the G-strings to be visible. This is the strategy of the image that attracts." When these demons returned to the meeting hall, the devil told the participants that when men see the bottoms of women with visible G-string panties, the image of that G-string will be printed in their minds and memories. Many sewing workshops of big fashion brands were visited by demons, and tailors were inspired by demons so that they can come up with indecent fashion designs and brands that increasingly expose women's bodies. Even if these clothes were evidently indecent, but as they were released by big and reputable fashion and design houses, people will still buy them. Demons were traveling to different cities of the world, and they were whispering to designers, tailors, and stylists. But before deploying demons in the world, I noticed that Lucifer did not give precise instructions about their assignments, yet the demons knew exactly what to do. When the devil was addressing demons in the meeting hall, he was saying a few words, but his thoughts were transferred to the demons without oral communication. In fact, when the devil was speaking, he was releasing a breath which contains his thoughts, and demons had something like antennas around their heads that were capturing these thoughts and also what was in the mind of Lucifer. Therefore, he did not have to say many words. And when demons were whispering to women to undress or to fashion designers to design sexy clothes, they were actually transferring the thoughts and ideas from Lucifer's mind directly to the minds of the targeted people. As a result, these designers were receiving the thoughts and inspiration from the devil himself. When deploying demons to Earth, the devil ordered them to come back before midnight. Usually the meeting, which took 4 months, was finishing at 7 or 8 p.m., but that day it went beyond the usual time. After completion of their assignments on Earth, the demons came back to the firmament. They were excited and talking to one another. Then they started reporting to Lucifer how successful their mission went. They said, "Great Master, we have been successful. Women are naked on the beaches. Fashion designers and tailors have received inspiration to design indecent clothes." The demons were really happy and celebrating the success of their assignments, and the devil seemed satisfied as well. But then, in a few moments, Lucifer's mood changed. He exclaimed, "No, men must corrupt each other, especially those who disturb us in the night with their prayers. They always disturb us in our gatherings in the night." I understood that the devil was referring to night vigil prayers held by intercessors. The devil said to the demons, "The battle is not won, nor finished." Then the devil stretched out his hand in space. As a result, a huge monitor appeared, showing live images, and all the participants in this gathering in the firmament had their attention and eyes on that huge screen. We were all watching scenes of live images from churches from all over the world. We watched 3 major scenes in that monitor. First, we watched women in miniskirts in churches all over the world, spreading their legs to attract preachers' attention. Lucifer then said to the demons, "I order you to enter in churches and whisper to women so that they would open their legs to show preachers their panties in order to distract them. As a result, they would be distracted and their preaching will become inconsistent." The second thing that we watched was women in the street heading to church, and they were African women wearing African loincloths, and they were trying to arrange their loincloths. As a result, their panties were exposed and made visible. Most of the time, when African women want to arrange their loincloths, they would accidentally expose their bodies. But what I saw on this screen was happening as a result of demonic whispering. These were happening after demons whispered to them. The third thing we watched in that monitor was 2 women disputing. Then suddenly, 2 demons turned up and whispered to them. As a result, they began to fight. We were all watching this fighting scene in this huge monitor. Lucifer addressed the auditorium and said, "The purpose of this fight is to cause these women to fight to the point of tearing each other's clothes so that men that are gathered to watch them will see their nakedness." The devil ordered demons to cause these things so that the image of nakedness of these women would be printed in the minds of these men watching them. As a result, these men would be fantasizing about this image of nakedness that is printed in their memories. This image of nakedness would be a tool for demons to cause these men to be sexually stimulated and to have fantasy and sexual appetites. Then Lucifer said to the demons, "You must eradicate modesty and decency so that women will wash naked in beaches and swimming pools without consideration for the presence of men." After watching these images from that monitor, we went to a village. We saw men washing in a river on one side, and women were washing on the other side of the river. The devil deployed these demons in that village, and they whispered to the men and women. As a result, the 2 groups that were apart joined together, despite the fact that some women have no clothes on them in the river. When the demons came back to the Oval Meeting Hall, I heard Lucifer ordering scientists working in the pharmaceutical industries to design drugs that will make women's bottoms rounder and more appealing to men. Beloved, as the scriptures say, the Lord has made us a kingdom of priests, and the Bible gives us a dressing code for priests in the Old Covenant. In fact, priests in the Old Covenant, and in this New Covenant, men and women are instruments. In the garments of priests, there are the pomegranates and a bell, which is the image of the Word. A priest must reflect the Word of God. In this congregation in the second heaven, Lucifer asked the demons, "Who will go for us?" Then he answered, "A woman dressed sexily and attracting men is my servant and working for me. And through her, I will transmit a message." When a man lusts after a sexy woman in the street, the image of the woman will be imprinted in his mind, and it will defile him. As the scriptures say, "I have made a covenant with my eyes. How then could I gaze at a virgin?" Beloved, it will require discipline in order to avoid meditating on what your eyes see, because an eye has a mind of its own. It catches a picture and sends it to the brain, which has a tendency to analyze it. May the grace and peace of the Lord Jesus Christ be with you. Amen. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in our next video.